Hello, welcome back to another video. My name's Taylor if you're new here, and in today's video we are going to be talking about books that give fall vibes and books that are on my fall TBR. Um, so yeah, we got a lot of books to talk about, and as you can see behind me, I have set the scenery. I have that little ghost frame picture. It's just on YouTube. You can look it up. I just love it though. I literally have it just on like throughout the day or whatever, and it really sets the mood. And then I also have my ghost pillow and my ghost blanket behind me. And I got a big stack of books right here and another stack of books right here, and yeah, I'm ready, so let's get into the video. So I forgot to mention that I bought a mic because just I didn't think that the um like sound quality in my videos like sounded that good. Hold on. And I talk like pretty quiet, so I'm hoping that this helps. And I'm hoping that you can hear me and it's not all muffled or anything. This is my first time trying it out. Well, I like tried it out earlier on like a test video. And I mean, I didn't think it sounded too bad. But hopefully you can hear me. It was just like $10 on Amazon, which isn't too bad. I thought it was a pretty good deal. So hopefully it's, a decent whatever. Okay, so to get things started, the first book I'll be talking about for my recommendations is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I know it's not typical fall read, and really the only reason why I'm recommending it is because it follows a group of like college students. The main characters are Noah and Ari. Noah is the captain, the star quarterback of the football team, and Ari's brother plays on the same football team as Noah. And really, the only reason why I'm recommending it is because it's a football romance. And in case you didn't know, the start of fall is when football starts. So, even though it's not like, I don't know if it's actually true, but in my head it is. Football is a fall sport. So, this book was really good. It has character development, it has trauma and healing and just so many things. And this is honestly, I gave this 5 stars, and I'm pretty sure I read it for the first time like 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was like 3 years ago, and I read it 2 other times since then, and I'm always going back to it. It's my like I read it once a year, and I love it so much. And Noah is literally the best book boyfriend ever. So yeah, I highly recommend this book, and it is also a love triangle at the start, but it quickly like dwindles away. Like you know who she's gonna pick, and obviously you feel the same way about it. So yeah, I highly recommend this book, and it did really well in my opinion with like balancing out sports romance and like romance and stuff, or like the sports of the romance. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. The sports aspect of a sports romance book. Um, so yeah, I highly recommend this book, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. The next book I will be talking about is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. It is a series. There's like, I think there's like 6 other books that I'm pretty sure. Um, and the first book, which is Binding 13, follows Johnny Kavanagh and Shannon Lynch. And it's a rugby romance set in Ireland at Talman College. It is about high schoolers, but you follow like their trauma and their growth and everything else throughout. So like it didn't really feel like a high school romance book, if that makes sense. Like it felt very like grown up, even though like they're like 16, 17, 18 years. So but this book follows Shannon Lynch, who was bullied her whole life by kids at school and her family. um, and so it follows them, and she has to transfer to this school, which is where her 2 best friends go, and also Johnny Kavanagh. And Shannon first, so how they meet is Shannon is trying to find a shortcut back to the school, so she runs across the pitch, and Johnny hits her in the head with a rugby ball, and their story goes from there. And I think the reason why, like, I honestly would put it in the fall category is because, well, like, obviously, it doesn't take place until like January, I'm pretty sure, so like, it could be like a winter romance, but um, it just like it always felt like so like dark and gloomy while reading it. So like it's a perfect read to read on a dark and gloomy day. But it apparently rains like every day in Ireland, so like every day they would like say that it was raining out. And I don't know, it just felt like the perfect like fall read while reading it, and just like the aspects of the book and the tone of the book and the vibe of the book, it just is a perfect fall read. So if you haven't yet, I would give this book a read and also have the other books on standby because you're most likely going to need them. And yeah, it was another 5 stars for me, but it's not hard to have me give a book 5 stars. Like as long as I'm easily entertained. So as long as I'm entertained, it probably is getting 5 stars. The next book is the Hunger Games series, and I'm sure you have heard of the Hunger Games. Most people have. It's pretty common, and it is the epitome of fall books. Um, it is a dystopian novel, and it follows Katniss and Peeta, and they get picked in the trials for the Hunger Games. And it follows them trying to. So, like, the trials, how they take place is like two people are picked from the 12 districts, um, and they basically have to fight to the death, and that's exactly what they did. And honestly, whether you read the books or watch the movies, I thought the movies portrayed the books really well, from having it in a movie point of view. I just watch the movies every year, so maybe this year I'll reread this book, like reread the series. But it is honestly the epitome of fall. It gives fall vibes. It's dark, gloomy, in the districts. Every district has like their flaws, and yeah, and I don't know, I think it's just like the violence and just like the darkness and stuff that gives it the fall vibes. But I highly recommend this book. I highly recommend watching the movies as well. And yes, I think that you should read this. The next book I'll be talking about is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And Powerless honestly goes hand in hand with Hunger Games. The only difference is this book has Kai Azar. It has a little bit more romance, but it kind of follows the same path as the Hunger Games is going. And so I know there's a lot of conflict and whatever else around this book, and like the series, like, following other ones. And I think it's just, because it's a dystopian, honestly. And so I really enjoyed this book. This book, I thought that it did good, giving Hunger Games vibes, but it still had its own path. Um, and so really this book, it follows Peyton and Kai. Peyton is an ordinary, and Kai is a prince and an enforcer. And Kai lives in the kingdom of Ilia, and Peyton kind of lives in the slums, like outside of the kingdom and stuff. And Peyton had to grow up trying to fit in, and she had to use her psychic abilities and her thievery, is that even a word? Her knowledge of being a thief to survive. And it follows them and their journey, and there is also trials. So whenever Peyton saves Kai, um, she's now a part of the trials. They thought that that was amazing or something, and so Peyton basically has to get through the trials without dying, and enters Kai, who falls head over heels for her, honestly. And he like helps her in the trials, and then they form a connection and stuff. And I really enjoyed this book, and I enjoyed the second book that came after it, Reckless. And Fearless also just came out this year. And then she had two novellas, or she has two novellas. One came out this year. Actually, oh my gosh, did Fearless come out this year? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. I think it came out in April. But anyways, and then she has Powerful, which is the second novella, which is right after this one, which takes place about um, Peyton's best friend. And so yeah, you get Peyton and Kai's POV in this book, and Kai is perfect. That's all I'm gonna say. And you need to read it because I really enjoyed it, and it gives perfect dystopian, perfect fall vibes. And yeah, I highly recommend this book. The next book I will be talking about is, oh my goodness, I just finished this book, and it was like really my third, oh my gosh, my first book that I read in third person POV, and I enjoyed it so much. I like mainly listened to the audiobook, which is probably why I enjoyed it. Like, it was way easier for me to follow, and I loved every second of it. And it's Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. Holly Jackson previously, or has a previous series. I don't know if she has more than one book or like more than one series. But it's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I'm sure you've heard of that. I have not read it personally. Um, but I hope to soon, you know. I really enjoyed this book. This book follows 27-year-old Jet and Billy, who was her childhood best friend. And it follows them as Jet goes to a Halloween party on Halloween night, and then she returns home, and someone attacks her and hits her upside of the head, literally. Um, and she finds out that she only has 7 days left to live, so she wants to solve her murder case in those 7 days. And then enters Billy again, and basically it's just them two trying to solve her murder. And this book was so good because honestly, I had no idea who the murderer was, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I would think that it was someone, and then like it'd be someone completely different the second chapter, and it kept me hooked because this book takes place over a week and there's like 400 pages. So obviously, if it kept me hooked, that means it was pretty good. And since it takes place on Halloween, pretty much in the week after Halloween, you should read it around Halloween time or now, or I guess whenever you really want to. But I highly recommend this book, and it was a perfect fall read, honestly. It was so good, and I'll probably reread it again next year too. The next book is Archer's Voice, and really, this book can be read anytime because I know the cover. I have the special edition, but I know the cover gives like spring, summertime vibes. And the only reason why I would recommend it for fall vibes and like fall time of year is because it takes place in a small town, and it gives small town cozy vibes, which is exactly what you want. Okay, I'm back. Now, after I give you a few of my recommendations that I thought were fall vibes, I figured we would jump in to my fall TBR. So, things first, we have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, and I know she has another book out. I honestly forgot the name. I'll put it in right here. But I also was wanting to read that too. But this book follows Iris and Roman, and honestly, I just have been hearing people talk about it, and I'm not 100% sure on what it's about. All I know is that she has been writing letters to her brother, and ends up writing letters to Roman. So is that it's enemies to lovers, and yeah, and honestly, just enemies to lovers in general just gives fall vibes. So I'm really excited to read it, and I thought the cover was so pretty, and I thought the cover gave fall vibes too. So yeah, I'm super excited to read this book. Hopefully soon. The next one on my TBR is Heartless Hunter, and I'm pretty sure this book is about a witch, although, however, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this book is also enemies to lovers, and I think it's a duology. And I've been hearing a lot of love for this book, and I've been seeing it all over TikTok and stuff. So yeah, I am super excited to read this book. Okay, the next one is I found this book on my bookshelf, and it's called She's Gone, She's Gone, She's Gone. Um, and this book follows 17-year-old Hunter Gifford. Says he wakes up in the hospital on the night of homecoming to learn that his girlfriend Chloe has been in a terrible accident. Hunter has no memory of the crash, um, and then they found Chloe's blood in the car, but not her body. So I'm pretty sure he like it's kind of like that, not quite that yet book, but kind of, but not really. Where he tries to find like where she is and like who tried to kill her or whatever. So I thought that this book sounded really good, and yeah, I'm super excited to read this book. And also, let me know if you've read any of these books, and let me know if you think that they're good. Because yeah, I'm excited to read that. And then the next book, if you saw my last video, I got this from the bookstore. It's called Fall I Want by Lyra, I think is her name, Lyra Parrish. And this book just sounds so good. This book follows Zane and Adam, and Zane is a billionaire so it's a billionaire romance. Um, and Zane returns back to this small town, and they kind of get off on the wrong foot, but then I guess Autumn's ex-boyfriend comes, and so her and Zane fake date, and it goes from there. And I'm pretty sure he falls first in her, and I'm a sucker for that trope. So I'm super excited to read this book, and also look at the sprayed edges. It's just so beautiful. I cannot wait. And it says that it gives like cozy small town vibes. So I'm super excited to read this. The next book, I actually started reading this book like a couple months ago, I'm pretty sure. I still have my bookmark in it. Clearly, I didn't make it that far, but then I was listening to it on Spotify, like on the audiobook, and I was like, this book just gives fall vibes, so I'm gonna save it for like the fall time and stuff. So this book follows Billy Summers, who is trying to be a retired hitman. And let me read you the back of it because I can't really explain it. But this is a Stephen King book, and yeah, I was listening to it, like I said, and I was really enjoying it. But I just felt like it fit the vibe of like, reading on the couch on the back porch when it's raining and stuff. So let me read you the back really quick. It says, chances are, if you're a target of Billy Summers' two immutable truths apply. You'll never even know what hit you, and you're really getting what you deserve. He's a killer for hire and the best in the business, but he'll do the job only if the assignment is a truly bad person. So he only kills like people who basically deserve it. He doesn't just kill to kill. And it says, but now time is catching up with him and Billy wants out. Before he can do that, though, there's one last hit, which promises a generous payday at the end of the line, even as things don't seem quite on the level here. Given that Billy is among the most talented snipers in the world, a decorated Iraq war vet, and a virtual Houdini when it comes to vanishing after the job is done, what could possibly go wrong? How about everything? Part war story and part love letter to small town America and the people who live there. The spectacular thriller of luck, fate, and love will grip readers with its electrifying narrative. As a complex antihero with one last shot at redemption, must avenge must avenge the crimes of an extraordinary evil man. You won't ever forget this stunning novel from master storyteller Stephen King, and you will never forget Billy. It sounds amazing. And I'm super excited to read this book. And honestly, just reading even like the first like 3 chapters of it, I was like, I'm gonna save it because I'm gonna save it for October or November or anytime then. And I'm happy that I have because I feel like now is the perfect time to jump back into it. Okay, the next one is From Blood and Ash. And I've been seeing this book a lot now on TikTok and YouTube and stuff. And a lot of people have also recommended it for like fall vibe, reading and stuff. And this book follows Poppy. It says her life has never been her own, and I'm pretty sure it has like vampires or something in it, which I could honestly be completely wrong. But just the cover in general gives fall vibes. Um, and I'm pretty sure it like kills people in the book and stuff. And I have been seeing that a lot of people like the main male character. His name's Hawk, I'm pretty sure. And it says that he is a golden-eyed guard who's like supposed to honor her, I guess. And yeah, and so I think they discover secrets and whatnot. And this book just sounded like a fall read to me. So yeah, I'm super excited with it. And then the next series, I don't have it here. I haven't bought it or anything. I'm gonna check to see if it's the Crave series, and I just like discovered it pretty much. I'm rewatching The Vampire Diaries right now, which I do it like every year. I've rewatched it like 4 times now, and I'm pretty sure it's like where this girl, her like parents died. I'm pretty sure, and she moves to Alaska, and she goes to this like prep school, I guess, or boarding school, and she is an ordinary, and she discovers that vampires and werewolves and witches, or maybe not werewolves, but something like that. Vampires for sure, and witches. They roam the school, and she gets caught in between two vampire brothers, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, that is literally the Vampire Diaries. So I'm super excited with that series. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my recommendations or my TBR and just anything like that. And also comment down below if you have any recommendations for me or if you've read any of these books and you liked them and you also would put them in the fall category. Yeah, and also let me know if you want me to do one for like Christmas. I've read like two Christmas books, I think, but I want to read like a lot more. I got a few books that I'm saving for Christmas time. So yeah, let me know if you want me to do like a recommendation for that. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye guys!